the maximum optimal capacity. So if you want to find out the optimal solution, it will always be present in this last value, which is the n comma mth position. Okay, or n bar w. So this is the optimal subset that we found. So if we backtrack, we can basically find out which are all the objects which we have chosen. Okay. So if you see, how do we choose that? Okay. We have to see 4 comma 5. We have to check with the previous value, that is 3 comma 5. If both these objects are same, value is same, that means we have not chosen this fourth object at all. But here we find the value is not same. It is different. This is 37, this is 32. So that means we've chosen the fourth object. Fourth object has been included. So I need to subtract 2 from the capacity. So 5 minus 2 becomes 3. So I need to go back to the previous object with 3. So it will be 3 comma 3. So I have to go to V of 3 comma 3. Now once I come to V of 3 comma 3, I check with check V of 3 comma 3 with 2 comma 3, the previous value. I find both are same, meaning this particular object was not chosen at all. So I'll make x3 as 0 and I will go further. Okay. Now from here I need to find out with the previous value, that is 1 comma 3. I find it is different. So that means I've chosen the second object. So I'll make x2 as 1 and I will go for subtracting this value, that is 1. So 3 minus 1 becomes 2, meaning I have to come till here, this particular position. Now again this I'm checking with the previous value, that is 0 comma 2. The value is different. That means I've chosen w1 also. So x1 also becomes equal to 1. So 2 minus 2 becomes 0 and I've come here wherein the value is 0. Okay, so this way I found out fourth object was selected, second object was selected and first object was selected. So these were the three objects that were selected to get the optimal solution of 37. So this is how you do for finding out the optimal solution in knapsack. This is how we solve knapsack using dynamic programming. Hence it is also called as 0 bar 1 knapsack. So you have either 0 or 1 and we don't have fractional value like how we had in greedy method. So time efficiency will always be theta of n into w and space efficiency will also be theta of n into w because we are having a matrix of n cross w size. Okay. And if you see the algorithm for knapsack, same thing whatever we did till now. Okay, I'm just putting it. For these two are for initializing the first first row and first column of your matrix. Then this is for finding out the values for each and every element. Okay, so if w of I is less than j, then basically I'll be selecting that particular object. If I'm not adding, then I'll be telling I'm not selecting that particular object. So I have to find maximum of this particular value and this particular value. So if in case this was true, then I'll be selecting maximum of these two. Okay. Otherwise, I will basically go for not selecting that particular object. So I'm checking if this particular value is also greater than the previous value, then I am including that particular object. Otherwise, directly I can go for selecting the previous value. So there are three cases here. One is my ith value. If I'm selecting, the profit that I get should be greater than whatever I already have. Then I can go for this formula to add. If when I'm selecting the ith value, the profit is not greater, like how we saw for V3 in the previous slide. Okay. Over here, how we saw for this 3 comma 3. The profit was not greater at all. So we basically chose whatever was previously there as it is. So same way, if that is the case, then I have to take this one itself. So that is why you have two conditions over here. One is to check if weight is less than j, and the other one is to check if this particular value is greater than v of I comma j. So either you can check two conditions like this, or I can check this one condition and find maximum of these two values. I can put it into v of ij. And if this condition is false, I'll directly put vi minus 1 comma j. Both the ways you can do. Okay, there's nothing like you have to write this full thing only every time. So there are two ways in which you can do. Only difference is you will be using another extra function called as max function, which you will have to write separately one more time. Okay, so this is how we will be doing. So in the next class, I'll basically be teaching you guys about uh, the knapsack program of your lab. Okay, any doubts?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma.
Can you explain the example of knapsack problem once again?
Once more, the entire table.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, that optimal subset, ma'am. That was a little bit not clear.
Yes, no.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Now here for this particular position, the value is 4 comma 5. So if I want to find out the profit at 4 comma 5, then basically the profit at 4 comma 5 I've got it as 37, right? So that means when I have all four objects which I can select from, and I have taken the total capacity as 5, this is the optimal profit that I am getting. So in order to get this optimal profit, which are all the objects have I selected? Which all objects have I selected among these four? I want to find out. So I am going to backtrack to till the first object to find out what are all the objects that I have selected. Now, in order to find out if a specific object is selected or not, at any position we know we have two options. First option is you can select the ith object. Second option is you don't have to select the ith object. If you don't select this fourth object, then basically the value of the previous one profit will be as it is. Yes or no? Okay, if I don't select this object, my profit will be whatever I've got when I had selected till the previous object. So I have to check if both are equal. Now I find 37 is not equal to 32. So that means I have selected the fourth object. So since I know I have selected the fourth object, if I subtract the weight to the maximum capacity, I get 5 minus 2, which will be 3. So that means the next object, I mean, when I've already selected one, now I'm left with only 3 more objects to choose from. So I go back to the previous row. In the previous row, now the capacity right now is not 5. Capacity now has become 3 because weight of 2 is already chosen. Since weight of 2 is already chosen, 5 minus 2 becomes 3. So I need to come to this particular location. Okay, so that is why I'm coming all the way from here till here. Again, now from here I have to check if this particular third element was chosen or not. Again, here you have two options. Either choose 3 or you don't choose the third element. If I choose the third element, the weight is 3 and the capacity is also 3. So 3 minus 3 becomes 0. But then the problem is this will become only 35. But my this one is 37. So I am not going to check for the profit every time. Okay, because I have done from the smallest value till the largest value. Instead of starting from the largest till the smallest, I've taken the bottom up approach, wherein I've started from the smallest problem, started solving everything till the largest problem that I can have. So that is why at every position I found the optimal value. So what I will do, I will think if I choose this, what will happen? If I don't choose, what will happen? So first let me check if I have not chosen this, what will happen? I will have to say that I'll be getting the same value as the previous one. So I'm checking if both are same. Both are same. I find 22 is equal to 22. That means accordingly, I can tell this particular object has not been chosen at all. So since I know it is not chosen, directly I'll go for the previous value. Okay. So always whenever you're starting, first think if I have not selected this, then I should have got the previous value. So I'm checking if both are same. Since they are not same, then I know this is selected. So I'm going to wherever I have to be if it is selected. Okay, then here I'm checking again if it is not selected. So both are same. I find it is not selected. So I go to this particular location, making x3 as 0. For this, I would have made x4 as 1, x3 as 0. X you know, right? Whether the object is selected or not. X stands for whether object is selected or not. Then from 22 again, I need to check with the previous value. Now 22 is not equal to 12, meaning I have selected this particular object. So 3 is the capacity, minus 1 will become 2. So it has to go to this particular location. Okay, so I'm coming to this particular location. Again here, I need to check if I have not selected this object, meaning both should be same. I find it is not same, so I have to make x1 also as equal to 1 and 2 minus 2 becomes 0. So I have come to the first position. So since I have come to the origin, that means these are all the objects that I have selected. So it becomes x1 equal to 1, x2 equal to 1, x3 equal to 0 and x4 is equal to 1. Understood this part?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.